is the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour,
supported by Albertsons
and
Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Brought to you by
Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Now, your hosts, Danny Sarek and Brad Sham.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome. Happy Victory Monday. It's a beautiful, what they used to call growing up in the Midwest, Indian summer day, warm in October. And the Cowboys are coming off a surreal win. We'll talk about all of the aspects of that. On the Miller Lite Cowboy Hour, we want to thank all of you who are joining us wherever you are around the Dallas Cowboys radio network and on DallasCowboys.com streaming. And we want to welcome to her first show as the co-host here, Danny Sarek. How exciting to have you here.
Thanks. I'm pumped to be here.
Good. Then you can carry this thing then, because I worked yesterday. I'm tired, but I did not work as much as our very special guest this evening, number 99, Antoine Woods. Thank you, first of all, for being here. Appreciate you.
That's all good. Anything for you.
Listen, I got to tell you, Antoine, 2 years ago, Antoine was on the first show of the year. And the game went well, and he played well. And so he said, okay, I need to be on the first show every year. I said, done. You have to ask me twice. So last year, he was on the first show, won the game. Now this year, all of these COVID restrictions that have us, Danny and I, separated by plexiglass and 6 feet, and Antoine in a different room. We can't go anywhere near. So what I have not had a chance to tell you is that prevented us from having more than one player on a show.
Oh, yeah, man.
So we can only have one, and I wanted to pay my respect. As you know, my high respect for Tyrone Crawford, as yours also.
Yes.
So I wanted to have him on the first show to pay my respect for what he went through physically to come back. And so that meant that Antoine could not be on the first show of the year. However, you are on Danny's first show. So in a way, it certainly counts. You're still on the first show, Twack.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay, very good. So congratulations on the win. I think the first thing that every Cowboy fan wants to know, we're not going to talk about this for the entire program, but that was such a horrific and surreal thing with Dak. By the way, I don't want Tristan Hill to get forgotten about in this, because you had already seen your fellow defensive tackle, and we are going to talk about him in just a second. You'd already seen him carted off. That's jarring. But when you see the guy who's the face of the franchise and the leader of the team in a situation like that, you tell us, what's that do to you? What is that like?
Oh, man, it just took the air out of the stadium, and we all kind of, held our breath. It was kind of, like surreal. We didn't know it was kind of true. It was just, kind of awkward to see, because we're not used to seeing, Dak in that situation. But we believe that he will bounce back and strong from the injury. And we know he'll have good spirits moving forward, and we'll be all right.
You have, obviously, you've been injured. You've seen players injured before. It's just a little different and really jarring when it's your leader and the quarterback and the guy who you kind of think of as indestructible, and they've got to send a cart out for him like that. How hard is it after something like that, or even the thing with Tristan? How hard is it then to refocus on football and realize you still got to play the game?
I would say in the moment it might be a little difficult, but not too much, because we kind of switched our attention towards winning the game for him. So, we just switched our attention to and putting our efforts towards that. But then, as soon as the game is over and we, it was a victorious, we got the win, it kind of comes back to, number 4. So, he's in our prayers, and he'll be fine. He'll bounce back.
And he's, for those of you who for some reason haven't heard, They operated on him last night. It was completely successful. He was out of the hospital by 6 o'clock this morning. And I'm sure, knowing Dak, that he's already in his way working on his rehab. You said you kind of refocused on winning the game for him. Did anybody say anything in particular? Zeke, Coach McCarthy, anybody say, okay, the rest of the day is for 4?
Yeah, a lot of the players are echoing it. I think Jay March started it, especially in the fourth quarter. Jay March got the team attention towards, throwing up, putting up your 4 for Dak and just bringing awareness to that. We played that game for him and finished it strong for him. So it was a lot of that type of conversation going on the sideline.
So I said I want to talk about Tristan. Let's do that. I would like you to talk about the difference in him from a year ago, because he looks like a different guy. He's really starting to find his stride as an NFL player, and looks like he's probably going to be out for possibly the year with a knee injury. And you can help him with that. You've been injured. You've been same position and all. Mm-hmm. But just tell us a little bit about the development that Tristan was going through successfully until that injury.
Yeah, that definitely was hard to see as well. Just knowing and seeing, how hard he's been working this whole training camp, and probably after having a year that he that wasn't up to his standard, last year, his first year, and seeing how far he's developed in 1 year as far as just mentally, his whole approach towards the game and the way you see him work at practice and how hard he plays in the game. So that was another unfortunate situation that kind of, hurt us, definitely on the D-line position. But, I'm sure that he will continue to keep his mind right and work hard towards coming back next year, with that same fire that he had starting this year out.
You never want to see a teammate go down, but especially when it's someone in your position group, how much more difficult is that? It's someone that you're working with, watching film and on the practice field. How much more difficult is that to see?
It's very difficult, You kind of get used to having them, around and just on the field with you, and then now you have to adjust. And, it's a part of the game. Everyone goes through it. But sometimes it just sucks when it happens to certain people, when you've been seeing how hard they're working and it finally, getting their breakthrough and, some positive things finally going for them. So in Tristan's case, it was kind of sad to see, because we know how hard he's been working and how he's kind of, flipped the table from a year ago.
Have you been in touch with him today?
Not today, but yesterday I was.
I'm wondering, because it seems to me that and you could talk a little bit about how he has flipped the table like that. He probably needs someone like you who has been in somewhat similar circumstances. Mm-hmm. Maybe the road didn't start off the way you wanted, then there's some success. Yeah. Doesn't he probably need some encouragement from someone who he knows understands everything that he's going through?
Yeah, definitely. As soon as it happened, when he was on the car, I could just tell him, focus on your mental. Don't let the mental part overwhelm you. All the thoughts and questions you have, just focus on your mental and stay strong. So that's what I was harping to him the whole yesterday, even on the card and after the game when I see him in the locker room, because when you have a big time injury like that, it could be frustrating.
Isn't it hard for you guys mentally, too? I mean, at some point, are you thinking, can we catch a break? It seems like almost every game there's some major injury happening. Yeah,
definitely. But you get to a point where you understand where, football is a tough sport. And, it can happen any play, any time. It happened to me twice last year. And it's just, your luck, the odds, you just never know. It's just football is a tough sport. And injuries are a part of it. It's unfortunate and it sucks, but we gotta learn how to, deal with them and stay positive.
You talk about working on your mental. Tell us a little bit about, as a group, this is such a transition your defense has been through, your defensive line. Started off with Gerald McCoy getting hurt in the second day of training camp. Never really had him, but you were around him. As a group, how do you stay positive? How do you know that you haven't reached your potential yet as a group? How do you as a unit stay positive and work on your collective mental?
I think everyone kind of understands how this business works, so it's kind of easy, after you get over the initial, the initial sadness of, you thinking about the particular person's situation. But we just understand that it's a part of the game, man. It's just you got to have that mentality in this business that injuries happen, and then it's next man up after that.
Does anything change for you either preparation-wise or mentally when you see someone in your position group go down and they're out for the year, to just if you have to step up or play a little more?
I don't ever change. I'm always the same every week, whether it's no matter what happens. I don't ever change. I don't make it bigger than what it is or smaller than what it is.
By the way, how come you didn't get a chance to play fullback yesterday?
I do not know. I wish. It'd be kind of great. We had some opportunities. We had some opportunities down there. I was kind of hoping, but it's all good. I'm available whenever the team needs me, whenever coach calls my number.
Yeah, they know that. Before we have to take our first break, I want to go back to the question of the unit, because you answered it in terms of the injuries, which is understandable. That's what we've been talking about. How about as a group, just the way the transition defensively has gone? I know you all must have been a little surprised to look up like after 3 weeks or something and say, what the heck, this isn't who we are.
Yeah, it's been frustrating because we know our potential and we know how good we can be, how good we look on paper as well. But at some point we just had to make a change and figure out how we've been playing is not good enough. So moving forward, we plan on putting together some complementary football and just playing better defensively.
There were some guys I thought who played their best games on your side of the ball yesterday. Do you see that as kind of a sign that those strides are starting to be taken?
Yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction. Getting the win helps a lot, but we're definitely not close to where we should be right now. So we're just going to continue to just keep working hard and keep moving towards, getting to where we need to be to, win football games.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then now is that the people who are listening on the radio cannot see the cap that looks to me like a Boston Red Sox cap that you're wearing, and I know it's not a UCLA Bruins cap on a USC Trojan.
Absolutely not.
All right, is that a Red Sox cap?
Yeah, I just really liked it because of the color. I'm not really a baseball fan. I mean, I like the Dodgers, but
Okay.
I was just trying to match your outfit.
Okay, good. So it's all about color coordination.
Yeah, it's all good.
Outstanding. And there was an old Saturday Night Live skit decades and decades ago before either of you were born. Billy Crystal had played a character who used to say it's better to look good than to feel good. And that was an older guy, so he probably wasn't feeling good all the time anyway. Antoine Woods is our guest on the Cowboys Hour this evening on a Victory Monday after the Cowboys win over the Giants. And the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour is brought to you in part by Albertsons. When it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day when you wear your Cowboys jersey. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Lou Casey, the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. We will be right back with Antoine Woods.
back to the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by.
He's able to communicate and talk to players directly from what he sees and what he's thinking and the adjustments we need to make. So it ended up working out pretty well.
With your new defensive line coach, well, not new now, but this year, Jim Tomsula, what have you learned from him so far?
It's just he teaches different from old Coach Marinelli. It's like kind of the opposite, and I mean he's a high energy guy. The way he teaches, his personality, and just all the way around. Definitely, he teaches you a lot. Just a different perspective of the game, man. It's good to have him.
How is he different from? How is he opposite from Marinelli? A lot of people who don't know Rod had the impression of him as a high energy guy. He'd get after you pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that, they both have great energy. But I'm talking about as far as techniques and scheme and teaching style, and in the film room and the type of technique they like to see on the field. So. It was difficult a little bit to be able to adjust because I got used to a certain way, but I mean now it's worked out well, and it's good having Coach Tomsula.
You guys saw a bunch of your old coaches too in this game on the opposite sideline.
Yeah.
Is that weird to see Jason Garrett and Mark Colombo and all these other coaches now on the other side?
Absolutely, very weird. I was just like, this is crazy. Seeing Colombo come out, different tunnel, and then Cam Fleming, and then during the game seeing Coach Garrett, and then it's just, it was kind of weird, but hey, it's the NFL, and that's how it works, You never know.
And this is one of the things I wanted to get into with you, Antoine, because you know more about it than even a lot of players. Mm-hmm. It's funny how the coaching staff that gives a guy an opportunity, sometimes just for no discernible reason, feels differently about him than a different coaching staff. You even experienced that in Tennessee, did you not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell the people a little bit about that story, how it prepared you for this journey.
It's just when you're in the NFL, you go to team, and you get different coaches and different styles, different set of eyes on you, and you never know, what a coach, wants to see or how they feel, the type of players they like. Everybody have their favorite type of players, and and just the transition when I have somebody like Marinelli, who kind of, he made it to a point that he just like, basically the route I took and how hard I worked. And he didn't care about, about me being short or whatever they might say. I'm short, I got short arms, or whatever the people say out there. He didn't really care about that. He just seen how hard I worked. So, and that it ended up working out for me from coming from Tennessee. So I was kind of ready for, a transition from when you get new coaches and new staff and new atmosphere. So that transition made it easier for me. Now this year with a new coaching staff, So
now, did you have? First of all, let's go back to getting out of school and going to Tennessee. You're a free agent. You weren't drafted.
Undrafted, yeah.
And that put a little chip on your shoulder to begin with.
Oh man, still to this day, it drives me crazy.
Did you have the same coach both years in Tennessee?
Yes.
That was it Vrabel?
No, Mike Mularkey.
Before Vrabel. Okay, So they saw something in you to sign you.
Yeah.
How many other people were trying to sign you coming out of school?
2 other teams. I think one, yeah.
And I know you and I have talked about this before, but I really think it helps inform how you get to where you are and how you deal with a change in coaches. So why do you think it didn't work out in Tennessee? Why did you not get the chance that you got here?
I think because, in the business you have your guys and you got personnel and coaches that make decisions, whether it's drafting a guy or whether it's signing a guy for agency. And I think that, personally, I came into the NFL just wanting to compete with anyone. I don't really care who you were. So But a lot of times, even if, I may compete hard and may even be better or maybe even perform better or outperform or look better, a lot of times personnel and coaches don't want to seem wrong. So that's the situation that kind of happened when I was in Tennessee. And then, I was blessed enough to come here 2018, and they gave me a fair chance and just to compete just like I always ever wanted. And it worked out.
Your journey with going undrafted, you spent a little time with the practice squad in Tennessee, and now you're here with the Cowboys. How would you describe your work ethic that got you to this point?
Just really believing in myself, knowing I always knew for a fact that I can play football in the NFL. I just always knew, so it kind of kept me at peace because I'm not really worried because I know for sure if I get a fair chance to compete, I will be all right. Just a fair chance. So I never really, really panic or worry because I know my nature and my heart, I like to compete. So I don't really, worry.
So did you not really worry when, the coaching staff transition kind of happened, just knowing that as long as you could compete, you felt comfortable in your ability?
That's all I ever asked for. And the NFL is different. It's not college. It's not, really super emotional. NFL is a business, so that's how I treat it. I don't really. I'm black and white. It's 50-50. Just let me compete, yes or no.
When I think we all remember 2 years ago. Was it Marinelli or Leon Lett? You told when the first depth chart came out, and you were taking the reps with you said
Leon.
Fourth team. I don't know if it was fourth team or not.
It was fourth.
It was fourth.
I can name everybody who was in front.
Go ahead, name them.
All right, number one was Dayton Jones, Brian Price, and Richard Ashe.
We're ahead of you.
Yep, and I was fourth.
And so you said, I'm going to show you who's fourth team.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I said, don't blink.
That's right. You said don't blink because I'm not going to be fourth team for very long.
Absolutely.
Now, did you said that to them in those words, didn't you?
Yes, I said don't blink because you just might miss it.
Did you say that to Coach Marinelli or Coach Lett?
Coach Lett, Big Cat.
Yeah, Big Cat, who has been there as a low drafted player who got an opportunity and had a great pro career here.
Absolutely.
What did he say to you when you said that to him?
He kind of just like, all right, Brother Woods, like, we're going to see. Like, I like that mindset. So I'm pretty sure people tell him that all the time, and a lot of players feel the same way or even say it, but I was just determined that, like, I didn't really see no other option. So I had a job to do, and I just, worked hard and accomplished it.
Respect the confidence to say that, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's confidence in one's own ability, but that comes into play, doesn't it, Antoine, with what you talked about, that chip on your shoulder from not being drafted? Because
definitely.
That's the whole league saying, yeah, you had a nice career at SC, we just don't think you're an NFL player.
Exactly. So still to this day, I still have that same chip on my shoulder, and it's probably going to never leave. The day that chip leave, I'll probably retire.
And then things go the way they did in the first few weeks, and it looks like they're still trying. Like how many different combinations of players played the first two series yesterday? It looked like everybody in a suit got into the game in some kind of rotation.
Yeah, that's a big emphasis. We're going to rotate a lot and keep guys fresh the whole game.
And did it work, do you think?
Yeah, it worked out. We won, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, but, I mean, because the other side of that coin, I think, never having played, is that you don't get quite the chance to get into a groove if you are rotating.
That's my biggest challenge this year. From playing, mostly majority of all the snaps before, from then going into, a rotational role with, the guys. So, it's challenging. I put my ego aside and I just do what I do to help the team. So, but it's definitely hard to get in the groove. But it's all a part of it, I guess.
Is it any easier to talk yourself into it when you look around and see that everybody is being treated the same way?
Yeah, kinda. But the competitive person in me is just greedy. I don't really like to share, and I tell Poe this myself. I was just like, I'm a competitive person and I'm starving and I'm greedy for it. So I really don't like it, but I'm not a person that's going to just, ego aside. I just want to help the team and just anywhere I can.
All
So
right. We're going to talk more about that and about confidence. I'm really interested in the subject of confidence. When we come back with more with Antoine Woods on the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour.
Yep, the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour. Brought to you in part by Papa John's. Order Papa John's Cowboys Family Special, a large specialty pizza and a large 2-topping pizza for just $24 at papajohns.com. Official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
We'll be right back on the Cowboys Hour.
To the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back to the Cowboys Hour. Brad Sham and Danny Sarek, and our very special guest tonight, Antoine Woods, Cowboys defensive tackle. I literally just found out, much to my great consternation, that Danny Sarek is a fantasy football player.
What's so bad about that?
It's not real football.
I'm not saying it is.
I mean, it's like everything against all of the things. Excuse us, Twak, we got to take care of this. Everything that makes football great, fantasy football goes flying in the face of it. It's completely against it. It's not about winning the game. You know what? You know how hard this man's worked? How many surgeries have you had?
Man, about 5.
You can't pin me up against Antoine. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I'm a very competitive person, and so that's what I like about it.
Okay. Do you get into that fantasy football?
No, not really.
Yeah, good
I don't
for you.
even understand it.
Yeah, it's good. Me either. That's another conversation for another time.
Great, I'm off to a terrible start.
No, you're off to a great start. I just like football. I like the moves that you make to try to win the game, and fantasy football is not about... I had this conversation with a guy on our flagship station right here in DFW at the beginning of the year when he was talking about when Amari Cooper said that he thought that the Cowboys could have 3,000-yard receivers with CeeDee Lamb. And I said, let me ask you a question. If CeeDee had 850 yards and they went 13-3, how would that be? And he said, Brad, I'm trying to win the league. And I said, so am I, but I don't think it's the same league we're trying to win. I just want them to win a bunch of games by 1 point. But we can get into that a little bit
Great.
on another time. So, Antoine Woods, people look, they see that you have carved out this a really admirable career as a successful pro football player from not being drafted despite playing at a big program at Southern California. And I think that people see guys on your professional level and they presume that confidence can never be a problem.
Yeah.
And then I think you see a team play the way teams do when they struggle. And I would suggest, for instance, that going into yesterday's game as a unit, your defense, not just the line, your whole group, I think was a group looking for some confidence. Would you agree with that? And just tell us a little bit, when you're a pro, what happens with confidence? Does it come and go to a degree as a group?
I don't think that was the issue. I think it was more of us. We just needed to be on the same page and everyone playing together, all 11 guys playing together, executing on the same page. I think that was our problem. We had, more of maybe 11 individuals compared to, 11 guys clicking at once. I don't think if you're an NFL player, confidence should never be an issue. I don't think that's an issue for, no one on this team. I just think we would just need to play together as a whole.
How do you carry that over in the following weeks?
You work at it, You come together, you see what you're good at, see what you're not good at. You help each other out, and you just continue to build that chemistry together, and then eventually it will fall through for you.
So, that chemistry, is that something that only comes with time? Because you haven't had that. And then I want you to talk a little bit about how you, as a group, not just your team, every team in the league, you were robbed of the opportunity to do that in the way to which you are accustomed, which is in the off season, in the weight room in April, on the field in OTAs, in the media. None of that. You didn't have any of that. So didn't that affect kind of how things started?
Yeah, definitely. We missed a lot of time together that could have been valuable, that we could have spent a lot of time together that probably would have benefited us and, as far as, connecting better and just, spending time with each other. And this whole offseason has just been different. And I think in the beginning of the camp, before it started, I think maybe majority of us probably thought that it wasn't even going to be a season, maybe. So now we're thinking about that. You have that on your mind, and then the point that you have a short camp, and then you kind of have to rush into the season, which, that's a lot of missing time together. Everything is kind of rushed, and you can't force chemistry and stuff like that. You just need time. So, I don't know. We're still trying to figure out today.
Is there any way to speed it up? I mean, you can't force it.
Hurry up, Walk! Hurry up!
No, I think it was Jalen or Everson. I think someone within the last week or so, when they were talking to the media, was saying, you can't really speed it up, but you got to try and find a way to start building that chemistry that you would have normally had an entire off season to be working on.
Yeah, every team's different. Every year is different. So some things may work in the past, may not work for now, and you have to find that moment or that point where you guys, you be like, all right, we're brotherhood and we're on the same page and we're gonna continue to work and get through this storm, But I think it eventually starts to happen for us. Starting with this win we just had, that was good for the team, good for the defense. So moving forward, we'll be all right.
Did you guys? Am I correct that you used to go to dinner every Thursday night?
Yes, pretty much everybody in the NFL. It's like Thursday night. It's like kind of, like the night with your position group.
And you can't do that now.
Nope.
Do you do anything now that after you got out of camp and everybody went back to their homes, are you able to do anything as away from the facility?
No, I don't think so. And I don't think we want to mess with them rules because the NFL not playing with them fines. So I will be following the rules and directions. But I don't know. I mean, a few of us, we play Call of Duty together, that's some team bonding.
Yeah, but and even that's virtual, right? Like when you say you're probably going to play Call of Duty tonight.
Absolutely.
Got some time off.
Absolutely, for sure.
Which teammates might you play with?
Tyrone Crawford, Cheeto, Alden, Connor McGovern, Mitch Hyatt. There's a lot of us on there.
Who's the best? I don't know how the game works. Do you play
for
in
sure
teams?
Me. Yeah, it's teams. It's different ways. Battle Royale. It's gaming terminology.
I know we're going to get into that in a minute, but just to clarify for people who are like me and Danny, and we're not going home tonight to play Call of Duty. You're each in your own place, right? You're each in your own home. You're not together. You're connected on a network.
Yeah, exactly. And we're just online using our own Wi-Fi.
But you talk to each other, right? You just talk a little trash.
Just like this. It looked just like this.
Yeah, okay.
Who do you like to talk trash to?
Alden.
Really? Does he give it back?
Absolutely. King trash talk.
King.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Alden's a guy that Cowboy fans don't know as a person yet, and we haven't had him on this show yet. We will a little bit later. But tell everybody what Alden is. I mean, he's especially considering what he's been through, he's off to a tremendous start. What's Alden Smith like as a guy?
Oh man, he's great. He's definitely outgoing. He reminds you a little bit of D-Law. That's why they bond so good together. But he's just outgoing, and he has his own opinion, and he's just one of those guys. Him and D-Law personalities are very similar.
How does that work in the room?
It's fun, Like this year alone, it's going to be a year to remember just as far as just the connection in our D-line room and the stories, just a different. It's just you got a bunch of guys that's veterans. We got Everson, Poe, Tyrone's been here. You got Alden, just different guys with different stories of their career at different point. And then we got, it's just crazy though. It's definitely going to be a year to remember.
So Tyrone, as we talked about earlier, was on the first show. And we talked about that very fact. You had a lot of big guys. And I said, now, look, who's the big dog in the room? And he said, well, I'm going to tell you that I am. And then I asked D-Law that at a press conference, and because he was talking about all the alpha attitudes in there. I said, who's the big dog? He said, well, of course I am. He said, you're looking at him. So how many guys in that room, Twack, think they're the big dog?
Oh, I think all of us. That's what makes our room so special. We all think we're the big dog, and we all think we got the hardest bite. So definitely.
But is there anyone who is kind of in charge of getting everybody on the same page? Because everybody can't do that at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's kind of maybe like me and Poe. We're just the laid back, cool guys. We just kind of play mediator between everybody. So yeah.
Are we gonna see any Hot Boys this year?
Yeah, we here. It's a few of us left here. Me, D-Law, Tyrone and Jalen. AB. But we're figuring it out right now.
Antoine Woods is our guest on the Cowboys Hour. We're going to take one more break and be back with more with Antoine.
The Miller Lite Cowboys Hour brought to you in part by Omni. This fall, do more than just stay apart. Stay a part of the game and stay a part of the Cowboys. Experience football season at Omni Frisco Hotel, the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys, and enjoy all the dining and entertainment options the Star has to offer.
And we'll be right back with Antoine Woods on the Cowboys Hour.
Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Brad Sham, Danny Sarek, and Antoine Woods on the Cowboys Hour. This is Danny's first show. How you feel? How you doing?
I'm feeling okay. How am I doing?
Oh, you're doing great. Twalk, how's she doing?
She's doing great.
See, I think that too. Even though she's a big fantasy football GM.
Nobody's perfect.
Sure.
No, this is so very true. This is so very true.
Now she's getting the twitch, so now she's locked in.
Oh,
Sure.
man. That's a little too far quite yet. I don't even know. What were you, Warzone?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what any of these things are played on. I don't know how you play. Xbox
PC?
or on? Oh, gosh. I don't have an Xbox. That's my excuse.
It's all good.
Yeah, but you
put it on the Christmas list.
See, I was just going to say you could have an Xbox if you wanted.
Yeah. Sure.
Are there any women in your group there, Twalk?
Absolutely not.
Oh man, see that might be the competitive itch.
Oh, see? Why why did you say it that way?
I don't know. It's just a fellas thing.
You do
it's
know. You're just trying to figure out how not to say it right now.
Yeah, it's a fellas thing.
You wait and see.
Not to say there's not any cool female gamers, but
not in your league.
It's a man's league.
A man's league.
I'm going to get really good. That was the motivation I needed. I'm going to get really good, and then I'm going to join your league.
What would she have to do to get into your group playing online?
She would just have to be a really good gamer.
I would learn how to log into Twitch. I would have to buy an Xbox.
How would she, as a novice, demonstrate to you guys that she belonged in your game?
We would have to see her skills, her talent. What's her communication level like?
Fine, I'm in.
You've been called out, sister.
Okay, give me a couple months.
When the season's
we'll circle
over.
Around.
All right, we were talking before during the break. While we were talking a little bit about gaming, about this. So Monday night and Tuesday the Cowboys players' time off, and Antoine's one of those with a family with a little baby girl. Mm-hmm. And people don't really think about defensive tackles doing too much of playing with their small children necessarily, because you got a big vicious job to do. Mm-hmm. Talk about your family life.
Definitely, man. I have a son, Antoine Jr., my daughter Parker, and then my wife Shelby. But definitely love coming home, playing with my kids, and seeing the wife and the kids after a long day of work at double teams and hitting each other. So it's pretty great.
They're young. Does your son at least have any idea kind of what you do or think it's cool?
Yeah, he does.
How old is he, Twalk?
He's 4. So now that he's 4, he's starting to understand a lot of things. So he's smart too. It surprises me every day. So this year was the first year I had to explain to him that I was going to training camp. It's because he kept seeing me leave, and then my wife was telling me, he kept asking for me. So I had to explain to him that I was going to training camp. So now every time I leave, he's like, "Daddy, you going to training camp?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going to work."
That is so sad.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, it's sweet.
It is sweet.
It's sad.
It's sweet.
Yeah,
it's sweet.
I don't think it's too sad.
Thanks.
It's sad that he thinks that you might be leaving for
a
long time.
But he's just more of you going to work. And then he calls a star football game. So he'd be like, he see it on the freeway. He'd be like, "Hey, you going to football game?" So yeah.
Okay. Have you brought him up here to run around on the field out there in the plaza?
Yeah, all the time before this pandemic.
Does he have a favorite player on the team yet?
Nah, he's not that far yet.
No?
It better be me. I'm out here taking these double teams, pay the bills.
How old were you when you started paying attention to competitive athletics? As someone that thought you might want to play?
Probably maybe 7, 8 years old. I don't know.
So, do you look for little signs in him that he wants to play, or?
Yeah, I'm a parent that I'm not gonna never try to put football on my child or try to force him to play. I'm a parent. I want him to be wherever he naturally wants to be, without any persuading from me or his mother or anyone. Just want to see what he naturally likes. He may want to be an astronaut. I don't know. It's just wherever he wants, I'm going to support, and I'm going to be that type of parent.
You might be a professional gamer.
That would be cool.
I bet he would let me in his league.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He's a little nicer than me.
But he's 4.
That gives me plenty of time to learn.
That's your level. That's your level.
Oh, you've been called out again. You're on a 4-year-old
My
level.
bad. It's just the first show I have to get her.
No, it's
Jeez,
good.
Antoine.
It's good. Absolutely. This is for grown-ups. Everybody's got to break in. Do you find that even though he's starting to get some stuff at 4, and your little baby is a year and a half? Did you say?
Year and a half, yes.
Tell the people, some of these game days are not fun. They don't end fun. They don't go well. Sometimes a practice can be really grueling.
Exactly.
Do you find that that it is uplifting to you that when you get home, you realize they don't care if you won or lost? All they care about is daddy's home.
Daddy's home, yeah. So definitely, man. Like you said, it can be. Sometimes I have rough days at practice, just on a regular Wednesday or Thursday, or a rough game. And definitely when you get home, it's kind of like all that stuff is off the table. These kids is happy daddy home, so it's kind of like perspective. That this is why I do it for them to keep these lights on and pay the bills and give them a better life. So when I come home, it's like, like the finishing product. Like, all right, it's a long day at work, but, I come home to these smiles and see these kids happy. I'm happy.
After those rough days, what's your favorite thing to do with them?
Just play with them, just really just be there and, interact with them as much as I can. And when you got them young kids, you see them develop every day. So I just want to be there as much as I can to witness, those stages of their life. And,
How's Junior doing with having a little baby sister to occupy some of the attention?
He's all right. Sometimes I think he's her daddy or something. He kind of is very controlling and always wants to play with her. But it's good because it's just teaching him importance, of that's your little sister, that, teaching him that he has to protect her and all that type of stuff, man. But he's definitely selfish. He doesn't want anyone, taking up her time because he wants to play with her so much. So
I'm curious to know, I don't have any brothers. I've got 2 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Are you already seeing a difference of raising a boy and a girl? Are there any differences so far between them?
Yeah, definitely. You see the different personalities, the different gestures, the different interests. You see everything. You just see them just developing into 2 different little kids and just growing. You can see who's gonna be mean, who's gonna be nice. So it's pretty cool though.
Let me bring it back full circle. You signed late this year. Mm-hmm. You mentioned you had some injuries last year that you had to deal with. You've got these 2 precious little lives that you're trying to keep fed. Were you concerned at all with the pandemic and everything when you hadn't signed and a little uncertain about what was going to happen this year?
No, I wasn't. I knew I was going to sign the whole time. I just was waiting until the last day to get it out the way. But yeah, me and my agent decided to just wait till the last day to sign.
But you knew everything was cool.
Yeah, I knew everything was cool. We was hoping, that we can agree on maybe some more money, but it's part of the business.
Yeah,
they didn't have to, so it was, it was cool.
You didn't sign a 1-year deal?
Yeah, 1 year.
And so, what does that feel like now? I mean, you've done it before, where you're playing for your future. You're playing to prove that you deserve the next contract. But do you get tired of doing that ever?
I don't want to say tired. I kind of, you get to a point where it's just like, man, when's my breakthrough? But it's all a part of it, It's just you have to stay into it mentally and really just wait for your time and your moment. So, go ahead.
Well, but that's kind of been how you've gone here, right? Is proving yourself, proving your value, and you've proven that when you're put in that situation where you have to prove yourself, you can do it.
That's all I ever wanted to do. That's all I ever want to do. So that's why I don't really, I don't get too high with the highs and too lows with the lows. I just kind of just stay neutral, and I keep my mind focused on that. It's just proving, earning everything, and just, really proving people wrong, and just trying to, figure it out.
Well, we've got a minute and a half left. I wanted to talk just real briefly about the routine. You guys have to be creatures of habit. You get into routines. You know what to do every part of every day. Mm-hmm. Now you got a Monday night game. Mm-hmm. And so you're thrown off the rhythm a little bit. How will the week be different?
I think it'll just be a bonus day. I don't know. I don't know what Coach McCarthy just got planned. We haven't even went to meetings on Wednesday yet, but I would assume we just have a bonus day of practice, and and then once we get into the the 7-day area of the game, we will,
which
have
would be
our
tonight.
regular schedule. So, like, a Wednesday would probably be on the Thursday.
Yeah.
See, it'd be
that's
off
funny.
a little
You
bit.
said bonus day, and you automatically assumed a bonus day of practice for the coaches. I automatically assumed maybe you'd have a bonus day of rest.
Hey, that would be great, but I don't want to make no assumptions.
All right, we're just delighted to have Antoine Woods with us. Thanks for the time, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
On Danny's first show, you
Great
were
first
still
show.
the guest on the first show.
So now it's okay. Now it's over with. Now you got to be number one.
Okay, there you go.
As long as I'm here.
Next week on Tuesday night, Cowboys play on Monday. For Danny Surek, for Antoine Woods, I'm Brad Sham on the Cowboys Hour.
All right,
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?